Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's live trading action video. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here. Today's date is Tuesday, June 18th, 2019. So we went in today thinking it could be a slow day. That is not the case. Markets gapping higher on the back of Mario Draghi, the ECB chairman over there in Europe, basically making super dovish comments about more stimulus. That caused interest rates here to dive because ultimately, if they're more lenient, then the Fed can be more lenient, and it's a literal currency war potential there, especially after Trump ripped Draghi in a tweet about that exact thing. And again, the key here is if you make the euro weaker, then their goods become cheaper for us, and we're more likely to buy more goods from them versus goods from here, which are more expensive now, and the Europeans are less likely to buy goods from the U.S. Again, they get more expensive when their currency depreciates, because then to buy it in dollars is much more expensive. All right, bottom line is that was the initial push. Then we heard that Xi from China and Trump likely to have an extended meeting coming up. The markets rushed higher out of the gates. Look at this move up, and then it all fell apart. And again, we're still up about 1% on the day, but we are way off the highs of the day here. And that is very interesting because you would think that the markets would be very happy and holding near their highs or maybe even pushing above all-time highs, and they have come back in. Now, does it mean that we won't make new all-time highs? No, that's always a possibility. But you have to be curious as major stocks have come into resistance points. And that's what I want to give you guys here. I want to talk a little bit about some of these resistance levels that I'm seeing because a lot of the main tech stocks like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Google have hit major resistance levels today. In fact, let's go over those right now because I think these stocks hitting these levels could signal a top short term, at least in the NASDAQ, for a pullback into tomorrow's Fed announcement. So again, what I'm saying to you guys is the Fed could ultimately disappoint and cause downside in the markets, and we could be seeing the indication of that from these tech stocks. So monster move on Amazon recently on the daily chart, but look at what it hit today. Gap fill, pivot high right there. Now you have a short-term topping tail in place. That is a bearish signal on Amazon. Let's go to Facebook. Look at the nasty reversal in Facebook. Facebook launches its cryptocurrency today, and the stock gaps up and loses it all, goes negative. That is a nasty daily reversal candle. Just to give you a sense of that, folks, look over here. Here was one that wasn't quite as nasty, but look at what fall happened on Facebook after that. All right, so could this be the beginnings of a big fall on Facebook? It could be. It definitely is a possibility here, so keep that in mind. Next up, let's take a look at Apple. Apple kissed a major gap fill. Look at the pivot right here. You had this consolidation over here. I could even extend the line out right there. Pivot right here, gap fill. Look at the high on Apple today, just over the even number of 200. We know how even numbers are super important as well to stocks. So notice how all the big players out here, the big tech stocks, are putting in tops. That is super intriguing to me. In addition, I'll go over Google in a second, but look at the VXX. The VXX is only down 13 cents. I picked up some VXX with Research Center members today when we were trading at the lows. We're already up on this about 50 cents, and it is a beautiful potential setup here. And this could be telling us something as well. I mean, why when the markets are up as much as they are still? Now, granted, they've come off their highs, but we're still up 1% across the board. NASDAQ's actually up more than that. Why is the VXX, the volatility index, barely higher on the day? That is worth taking note of. So keep that in mind as well. Then take a look at Google here. Google has had a big rally, but look at this gap fill right here. And we kissed that gap fill right at the 1200. You have the 200 moving average, the 1120 level. You have the 200 moving average just above current price. This, again, is resistance on Google. So, it's just worth keeping an eye on here, folks. Again, if we didn't hit major resistance points on so many of these monster names that have so much influence, I mean, most of these companies are near $1 trillion of market cap. If we didn't hit these levels, I'd be more bullish because then I would say, okay, well, there's no topping signal on these major players that basically control the S&P and the NASDAQ. But hitting these levels definitely raises my eyebrows and makes me wonder what is going on here. So let's see if today was a little bit of a blow off top with the big surge up. I'm curious if the meeting actually takes place. And the bigger question is, does anything actually come out of the meeting? Because the U.S. and China are not doing any sort of negotiation right now. So the only thing that meeting would entail would be to restart negotiations. And that's the question. That's ultimately the question. Will it restart? If it doesn't restart, markets are going to tumble because if Trump face to face with Xi can't restart negotiations, then there's not a lot. I mean, in all fairness, then the market's going to say, okay, there's no deal before the elections. I mean, basically, that would tell me that Xi does not want a deal before the elections next year because he would want potentially to be negotiating with a different president. Potentially. Again, who knows if that's the outcome, but that's what he's thinking, right? So we'll have to see. All right, so that's what I wanted to pass along to you guys today as we continue to make money in the research center and in the intraday stock chat and the options alerts. Come join us, guys. I mean, this is the best environment you could ever ask for trading, for swing trading, for options. Get involved. The money is there to be made. Take care.